I am so very excited to share this video log with the readers of American Journal of Physics. This video will highlight how we use physics in our everyday lives and we aren't even aware of it. This video will cover my trip to France, where my itinerary included visiting the iconic pieces of architecture such as the Arc de Triomphe, the Notre Dame Cathedral, and of course the Eiffel Tower. From the very first moment I'm awakened by my alarm, I'm using physics. LEDs, or light-emitting diodes, form numbers on my digital clock. Basically, LEDs are just tiny light bulbs that fit easily into an electrical circuit. They are illuminated solely by the movement of electrons in a semiconductor material, and they last just as long as a standard transistor. Driving to the airport, I use a smartphone app to help me determine the fastest route to the airport. All applications that are dependent on GPS are dependent on quantum physics. This mobile app is synchronized with the government's atomic clock and calibrated every second through the GPS circling the Earth. These clocks are based on quantum transitions in the energy states of electrons and atoms, the understanding of which requires quantum mechanics. The GPS receiver in the phone picks up the signal from the multiple clocks and uses the different arrival times from different satellites to determine the distance from each of those satellites. The computer inside the receiver then does a bit of math to figure out the single point on the surface of the Earth that is the distance from those satellites and locates you to within a few meters. The flight to Europe can be explained and described by physical principles discovered over 300 years ago by Sir Isaac Newton. Newton's first law states that every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its state by the action of an external force. The motion of the airplane when the pilot changes the throttle setting of the engine is described by the first law. The motion of aircraft resulting from the aerodynamic forces, aircraft weight, and thrust can be computed by using the second law of motion. The third law, introduced by Newton, states that for every action in nature there is an equal and opposite reaction. For aircraft, the principle of action and reaction is fundamental. It helps explain the generational lift from an airfoil. During the flight, I had plenty of time to catch up on some reading and found a fascinating article that was published by the University of California, Riverside about an international team of scientists who had imposed conditions on dark matter and how it interacts with ordinary matter. Because dark matter does not absorb or reflect light, it's difficult to detect. According to physicist Haibo Yu, they invoked a different theory, the self-interacting dark matter model, or SIDM, to show that dark matter self-interactions thermalize the inner halo, which ties ordinary matter and dark matter distributions together so that they behave like a collective unit. The self-interacting dark matter halo then becomes flexible enough to accommodate the observed diverse rotational curves. While visiting the Eiffel Tower, I learned that the distinctive shape of the Eiffel Tower is based on simple physics and is designed so that the maximum torque created by the wind is balanced by the torque due to the tower's height. From a personal perspective, I use physics each time I drive to work. Newton's law of action and reaction establishes that for a car to move, there must be friction between the wheels and the ground. The wheels exert a force on the ground because they are spinning, and the ground exerts a reaction force on the wheels. This is the force that pushes the car forward.